Hey guys, you ready to see Shawnee Smith? Alright, that's pretty rare. You can know her as Amanda from Saw or Meg from The Blob, and maybe some other places too. So put your hands together and give a nice warm welcome to Shawnee Smith.
Hi, y'all. Thanks for getting up for me.
How many of you guys are hungover? Just check.
The really hungover ones are still in bed.
So, I have a lot of questions. I'm sure everybody else has questions. I've got Robin over there in the yellow shirt. If you have a question, raise your hand, and then she'll run over there with the microphone. I don't do that anymore because I'm old. All right. So I was telling Shawnee that the first movie that I had seen her in ever was Annie. I was 11 years old, and she was a dancer in it. And then subsequently, I followed her through some of the other movies that we're going to go over. But let's just start with Saw and Amanda Young. Did you think that this was going to be such an integral role in all the Saw films that you would become a disciple?
No one knew in that very first film what was going to happen, if it would catch on. I mean, obviously the producers had an idea or they wouldn't have funded it, but you know, you never know when you're doing a low-budget independent film if something will come of it or not. But I remember being in the theater at the Sundance Film Festival, which is where it premiered. And I was sitting in the back row with the producers and James Gunn and Lee Wanell. And got to the end, and when Tobin, spoiler alert, when Tobin got up off the ground, the theater, and this was like, you know, stuck up Sundance audience, you know, they went fucking nuts. I've never been in a theater with a reaction like that, and that's when we all knew. In the back row, it was so cool watching, you know, looking at their faces, watching them understand like what they had. That started with these two young guys, graduated film school in Australia, and thought like, what movie can we make that costs nothing? And that was awesome. That's you know, film history.
Now I'm going to throw some shade at you first, all right? And I heard you turned down the role first for Amanda.
Well, you know, for like heartfelt reasons. I was going through a divorce at the time. It was just one of those times in life, you know, life goes like this, and it was just a tough time. And I read the script, and I'm not that actress that, I work from the inside out, you know? And I read it, and I was just so disturbed in general, and then I read this disturbing script, and I was like, I'm not ready to live that out right now. And thank God they pressed me to come in and watch because I was at the management company, the producers were also managers, and my manager that I've been with for as old as my daughter is, 23 years, I was his first client, was a manager there, and so they just called and they said, come in and see the scene that the director wants you to do. They filmed, but Lee Wanell was in the jaw trap, and that's how they got the movie made. So James, you know, could show his style of, and so I came in and I watched that scene. I was like, okay, I'm doing that scene.
Okay, so that 8-minute film is on YouTube. You can Google it, find it. So, and
Oh my gosh.
So you
That's
magic
super cool.
Okay. What was your favorite trap? Because I know well, first of all, Tobin set up traps that had an escape route, and your character had traps that had no escape route.
Sometimes. Well, the jaw trap would be my favorite because that's the iconic. But there was one I thought was really beautifully awful and very creative. And that was when she froze. Do you remember that one? The beautiful woman and she froze layer by layer. Yeah, I thought it was very poetic.
No.
It was beautifully awful.
It was awful. And actually, I was watching another one where you jumped into a pile full of hypodermic needles.
Yeah,
now, that one's honestly really gruesome, but like I was like, I hate that scene. I just can't watch it for some reason. Does anybody have any questions up here? We got something yet? All right, right over front.
I was introduced to you from your horror.
Hang on, you're gonna get a microphone.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, fancy.
Hi, I'm Carla.
Hi, Carla. Want to sing some harmonies?
I don't think you want that. I was introduced to you early from your horror TV movies. Like, I know you were on So What You Did and Face of Evil, which just scared the crap out of me.
Wow, you are
Yeah.
real.
Yes, I am.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, which do you prefer? Do you prefer playing the victim, the antagonist, or like, and I know you are, I saw what you did, the mix of both?
I just like playing humans.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will look for the human in the victim, I'll look for the human in the perpetrator,
Mm-hmm.
because I can play that and forget myself.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter and I watch this, we're in hotel, we don't have TV at home, we just have,
Yeah.
Netflix like most people. So we're in a hotel room and turn on the TV and scroll through. And I saw, I won't mention names because she's a great actress,
Yeah.
but she was playing a part that it was like it was a character, and she was just going through the motions and playing this character, and I was like, Bert, that is a torment for it trips me out, when I see actors that are so good and they're so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this has happened to me, and I never want to be in that position. Like, you have to find, like, she just didn't find the thing and sometimes you can't, sometimes you're not right for the part.
Mm-hmm.
An actor is not right for every part.
Mm-hmm.
And I love a good director because they know what they want,
Mm-hmm.
and if you get hired, then and then some parts are just yours. Like when I walked in for the Becker audition,
Yeah.
the creator of that show would tell you, like, you were Linda.
Mm-hmm.
And but man, when you're trying to do that character part from the outside in, it's awful. And it looks, and a great actor can look like a fool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always looking for that anchor, that connects me to the human being.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a super fun search, I love human beings. I love searching on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, when I mentioned before that you didn't have traps that they could escape. That was not necessarily true, I know. But
100%.
not 100%, but did you know that was the direction that they were going in when they started this? Or did you have
When
a
you work
revelation
on a
about
Saw movie, you don't know where it's going, even while you're filming it. And because they don't know. It's like they have a life of their own, Then you film 3 of them and you look back and it's as if you knew where it was going and you planned moments and executed things in a particular way because you knew where it was going, but it's as if it knew where it was going.
this story kind of writes itself? It makes me really
Yeah, it's a little bit scary.
Now, I realized that this was not the first time you were in prosthetics. The first time I remember you being in
And
prosthetics.
it won't be the last.
Yeah. It was 1987 in the movie Summer School, where Dave and Chainsaw. Has anybody seen that movie?
Yeah.
All right, great. So she has this ruler in her mouth.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic piece.
I like that. Yeah. So and that was what, Tony Gardner, and Rick Baker, and I think Rick Baker and Tony Gardner was assisting him on that movie, and then they went on to do The Blob.
Yeah, no, and
Tony.
that is a great scene. Now, there's stuff I have questions about that too, but we'll get to that in a minute. She's nervous now.
That was fun.
Does anybody have any questions at the moment? All right, we got more hands. Good.
Hi there, my name is Rowena.
Hi, Rowena.
I'm so glad that you're here. I was so excited.
I know Rowena. She owns my favorite dress shop for the last, 10, 12 years. For
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Go Rowena.
And so I've been rewatching old XFiles episodes, and I happened to watch just a couple of days ago one of the episodes that you were in season 2, and I was so excited. I was screaming, going, "There's Shawnee! I'm going to see her on Saturday."
Oh, she's sweet, Jessie. It was so tragic. I love her.
How was it working on that set on that iconic show?
Dude, that was an iconic job because I had my first Starbucks cappuccino filming that. I guess, I want to say it was Washington or Oregon, but we must have been filming in Vancouver, right?
I think it was in Vancouver.
Well, it was in the general area where Starbucks started, and I remember I can taste it to this day. And so that was and David Nutter bought it for me, right? Director who went on to do Game of Thrones. I mean, he's like one of the biggest TV directors, and he's awesome. He's so much fun. And David Duchovny and I just listened to music. He was a total music nerd, so was I. And so we just traded playlists, and it was a ball. That was a really fun time. I love. She's such a tragic character.
That was very tragic.
It was a very phallic episode too. I remember that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody have any
Thank
questions?
you.
We have more questions?
Thank you.
Hi, I was the person that freaked out over having cash. My name is Autumn. What's your favorite horror movie outside of Saw and The Blob, etc.?
Hi, Autumn.
Hi.
I know this answer.
You do? Oh, well, I don't like being scared. I get mad when I get scared. But there was and I don't even know the name of it. I was very young, and I wasn't even at my own home, which I should talk to my mother about. What the hell was your small child exposed to? And I remember I was behind a couch, and on the TV was this black and white horror film, and it was chopped off heads flying around a house, and they haunted this house. And for years and years and years, that was the recurring nightmare that I had. Tormented me as a kid. The very last nightmare I had, they say make friends with your enemy. The very last nightmare I had of that. And I'd be afraid to go to sleep, because it was such a powerful, it just disturbed me to that level. And I was probably very little. Again, Mom, where the hell was I? Why weren't you there? No, my mom's awesome. They were my last dream, they were throwing me a birthday party.
No.
The chopped off heads. And I made peace with them, and I never had another dream again. So that's the most memorable, you talk about favorite horror movie or the most profoundly affecting, and I don't even know the name of it.
Okay, Internet, figure it out.
Should you accept the challenge?
Another question out there? Right in the back over there.
Hi, Mama. Doing the baby dip. Hi. Oh, the dip. When I had Verve, this is my daughter, and there was the nurse, the first nurse, and she taught me, do the dip, do the dip, do the dip. And I've done it like a million dips with my kids and other kids, and it works, doesn't it?
Hi, my name is Sandy.
Hi, Andy.
Hi. My question for you is, although it was like kind of brief, what was it like working on Repo the Genetic Opera?
Well, Darren, he had this idea, people weren't doing a lot of rock operas at the time. Now you can do a musical, but nobody wanted to touch them. And we were filming Saw 3, and a friend of mine was in town who's a singer, Heather St. Marie, in a band called Hydra Vibe. Great singer. And so Darren rallied everybody, he says, I want to get, he goes, it was like a day off, and he rallied like crew and some cast members, and my friend Heather did it. And we got costumes together. It was like, let's put on a show, and it was all to like help him get this movie made. And so we all just like volunteered our time and go, Darren, go. And it worked. And then he recast me with Paris Hilton.
But you're gonna laugh because she got one of the Razzies for Worst Actor of the Decade. You also are not unfamiliar with music. I'm sure some people in the audience know that you had a punk rock band called Fido Ho, and also Smith and Pyle with Missy Pyle from Galaxy Quest, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is going to be your all
Because we look so funny standing next to each other, we thought, let's make a band.
We need to get her to karaoke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, this is a love song for your dad, called Ink. And got a bunch of tattoos while he was married to me. And he got a few when we got divorced.
Okay. And I did look. You can find this stuff on.
That was
Apple
very,
Music.
you did your homework.
I do. I do what I can.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I respect that, appreciate it, thank you.
No problem. And I would push any of this. Keep going. Buy it. Buy the music out there. Buy it. Like I said, I know Eric bothered you about going on this karaoke, but he already knew.
Well, here's the thing about karaoke, like when you're making a record, you're in the recording studio, you got like Robert Trujillo, Roy Mayorga, you're in control of what you're, karaoke, you're just not in control and everybody has a camera on you now. I don't know if you're allowed to suck when you're,
No.
when you have records out.
We're going to do fine. We're going to make you go out tonight. All right?
We will love you.
Yeah.
I love you, listen. I'll cheer you on.
You just
And
drink
sing
enough
back
tequila,
up.
or you just drink your enough liquor that you don't suck, or at least you think you don't suck. That's how you win at karaoke.
Right?
I'll sing back up. I'm good at harmony.
If you sing, I'll sing. Because you asked me to sing.
All right. All right, what song?
Just
Your
leave your
choice.
egos at the door.
I'll see you tonight.
Okay, so you were talking about Verve before too. Verve ratted you out to the director of Saw 2, right? If you
Yeah.
were 4 months pregnant.
We were out to dinner, and she said, this one here, and she's like 5 years old or something. She's like, we're at dinner, and I see this look in her eyes. I'm like, oh shit. She gets that like enchanting, you know. She feels the mystery. She's, Darren, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'm like, oh shit, this is real. There's no stopping this. I'll tell you a secret. Darren's like, oh yeah, Verb. I'm like, no, Verb, no. Darren's like, no, Verb, what? There's a baby in my mom's belly. It's this big. And Darren was like, is she kidding? Luckily, it was post-needle pit scene. I didn't want to, obviously, I was going to be careful of my bait. I wouldn't do anything to endanger the baby, like fall in a pit of needles. Yeah. I did not, the fall I did, I was inside he was never in danger. He came out a little dramatic, but fair enough. But I couldn't play that part, I wanted to be barefoot. And I had a big fight with the producers about that because it's, liability. And I just didn't want them to just be babying me and, no pun intended, and nervous and definitely didn't want them to not do the movie so I just,
Does anybody have a question? Oh, we got hands all the way to the back. Oh, over there. Actually, go, Robert.
Are you gonna call his mother back there soon, please?
I've got my glasses, but I can only see so far. Everything else is blurred. We're gonna go grab it.
Sorry, young man, you don't mind, right? Chivalry is alive and well.
From now on, you can point them out.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, the baby's taking the mic. I'm so excited.
I'm Katie, this is Nolan.
Katie
Katie and Nolan.
and Nolan. Nolan! What's up? Hi, Nolan. Is that your mama? Oh.
Okay. So I am actually a huge fan of Becker, and I loved you in it. And then when I saw you in Saw, I was like, no, that's Linda. I can't. So I just want to know more about like your experience on that show and like working with Ted Danson and stuff.
Okay, here's the thing. So I have to start with that. That was she's probably my favorite character. And I had an epiphany not too long ago that she was kind of Verve. Because she was almost, because I would look at her and go like, where did she come from? Not Verve, but I know where she came from, but Linda. She just was this, I'm a character actress, but she was not me. I was in there, but she just kind of came alive, and I loved her so. I loved playing her so much because she was like a meditation, because she was not dumb. Thank God. That would be bad if I said she's basically my daughter. She's a total idiot. No, but like her mind, there's a front door and a back door, so things just always flowed, But she was a genius. But everything was always flowing, so she never held anything against anyone. She never tripped out or stressed out too much. She had a great attitude. She was super fun to be around. And I loved playing her because I could just let all this shit go, And I realized not too long ago that a lot of Verve's dad is in Linda. Because we were together at the time, He's this kind of surfer dude and from Liverpool. And that was a funny realization. But it was, Verve could tell you, she grew up on that set. I was pregnant with her the first season. That was a surprise. And that was a scary conversation, having to bring the creator, producer of the show into my dressing room and say, so I know I got hired to play the sexy office assistant, but I'm pregnant and I've never, I don't know what my body will do. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. And he's like, no problem, Shawnee. No problem. He calls me every year on my birthday to this day. That film was like, her baby shower was on the Soul Train stage next door. Ted Danson filmed it. He had the video camera filming, interviewing everyone. I mean, we were a family for 5.5 years. I think that there was a preschool on the Paramount lot, Paramount Preschool. Verve went there. I mean, I think her childhood, the bulk of her childhood was growing up on the Paramount lot with all those people. Severio, who plays Bob, is my son's, the Needle Pit son's godfather. You know, it was one of the best experiences of my career. So, and the writing was so good. David Nutter was my, David Nutter, XFiles. Oh my gosh. Help me. My favorite, Matt Weiner was my favorite writer on that show. And he loved writing for Linda, and I was so excited when I saw his name on the script. And of course, you know, he went on to do, I think someone just told me he did The Sopranos. I knew Mad Men, but so yeah, when you have great writing like that, it's a joy, and it makes it super easy.
Yeah, Linda's characters just rode through life effortlessly.
Yeah.
And we're going to run over that question, and we'll get to you next.
Hopefully, Verve will be smarter in who she dates than Linda.
I have a question about that too.
Hi, thanks for being patient.
You're totally fine. I'm Ronnie.
Hi, Ronnie. Ronnie, Shawnee, Ronnie.
I was wondering, what's one of your favorite lines that you did in character as Amanda? I know out of character there were different things. The whoopee cushion gag did not go off. But what's one of your favorite dialogue interactions that you had as Amanda?
It's funny, because two that come to mind are he helped me and fix me, motherfucker. Ironic.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Fucking sad.
Extremely.
Okay, we're going to get a question up here.
Question.
Just yell.
You know you can.
Oh, okay, it's like, I don't know where I'm going. Thank you. My name's Jacqueline, and
Jacqueline.
growing up, The Blob and Who's Harry Crumb were two movies that were played a whole lot in our house. And I didn't realize you were in Annie until recently, and we used to dress up in my mom's nightgowns and make her be Miss Hannigan and clean the house and sing Hard Knock Life all the time. But what do you prefer more, horror or comedy, and do you have any good John Candy stories?
It's funny because I think horror and comedy together are great. I mean, listen, comedy is so, it's like the lubricant for the horror, for the drama, you know, because like, get somebody laughing and they won't see what's coming. They won't be preparing for what's coming. So you just smack them with it, you know, like it kind of takes away your defenses, you know? Which is interesting, because like the funniest comics, and you asked me about this will connect with John Candy stories, a lot of the funniest comics are the most tormented inside. Because they're just defenseless. This world is hard, you know? It's tough being a human in the world. And that's why we're supposed to go 2 by 2, you know? Like, it's all having another person. And that's the beauty in the horror. And John Candy was so loving caring. You know, the studio gave him a trainer to, you know, try and keep him healthy, and he gave the trainer to everyone else. He was so, if he could have been just like a tiny bit as kind and caring to himself as he was to everyone around him, he would still be here. You know, and it's fucking heartbreaking.
All right, I just said, because
So I try and put the comedy in, find the comedy in every genre. And I love doing all genres.
In the far back corner over there, he's got a question.
Just want to make her come all the way over.
You're getting your exercise.
Hello, my name is Randy.
Hi, Randy.
Hello. Question, passion project, something you've already done or something you want to do?
My ultimate passion project is working with my daughter. She's writer, director, and I just have an instinct about what her career will be. I could be wrong, it doesn't matter. She's just my favorite human being in the world, female human being. I have 3 kids and they're like my favorite people in the world. They really are. They're super interesting. But I know her heart, I know her genre, I know her style, I know how she'll be on set, and that would be my ultimate passion project. You know, after she develops and then she can do the stories, she gets the budget she needs, you know, I have a feeling she'll give me my best parts, because she knows me, and she's got bitchin' stories in her head. I think of that Linda line all the time when I watch her. You don't know what it's like in here. You know, she just like, I'm her listener. She just, since she could walk, you know, she just got stories. It's intimidating. So, yeah, really, honestly. And there are some great writer-directors out there, but that would be my ultimate. If I could go sprinkle the fairy dust, and that's where I would sprinkle it.
Okay, over in the blue shirt over there.
Hello. With the stand, the role that you did in there was phenomenal.
Thank you.
What was it like working on a Stephen King inspired film and one of the best books ever written?
Well, it was super awesome because I hadn't worked for a long time. That was, I mean, when you work as long as I have, there are periods where you don't work. And that was at the end of one of them. And I had auditioned for Mick, and he videotaped the audition, and months went by, I didn't hear anything. Because Diane Lane was friends with Rob Lowe, and she wanted to do that part, and she was doing the part. And then she got pregnant. And by the time they filmed the stuff in Vegas, which was at the end, she would have been showing a lot. You know, they could not make that work with that long of a shoot and that part. And Mick remembered my audition, and I just got this call. My manager, Shawnee, I have an offer for you. I was like, I think I just hit the floor, you know, hit the ground. What offer? I hadn't auditioned for anything in a while. I just couldn't imagine what it was, and it was The Stand. And I showed up on that set, and fucking no holds bar. And it, I think, kind of pissed off Rob Lowe that he wasn't doing it, because there was a lot of improvisation and all of that stuff, like throwing the shoe and hanging out the window, you know, and just, because I had nothing to lose at that point. It was awesome, and it was an honor to be on that set with Stephen King and Nick Harris. I got to meet Stephen, and And yeah, it was an honor to be a part of that. Thanks for asking.
Any questions here? Go on there, quick.
Hi, my name is Darren.
Hi, dear.
One question I've been waiting for someone to ask and nobody has. To prepare for the role in Saw, like what did you tap into? And when you went home, was it easy to shake off? I mean, a lot of actors have a hard time with that.
It's funny, it was different with each, Saw 1 was one day of work. And I had the flu that day too, so I just used it all to just be in fucked up Bill. And responded to the TV, what came on the screen in front of me, and then what I had to do, I just was like. And then when that day was done, it was just back into the disturbing point in life. That's why I didn't want to do it in the first place. But that was one day. Then Saw 2, really, they didn't know where it was going. So Saw 2 was just, I was kind of exploring as I was going. And then by Saw 3, that's where I had the most with Tobin, and that relationship was really critical. And luckily, Tobin approaches acting the same way as I do from the inside out, and he's very meticulous. I mean, they lucked into getting him to play that part because he fills in every blank. There is nothing that he has not. He's very smart, and he will make sense of it all. He will fill in the story and make it real. And so I got to Toronto, and I remember I just went to production and saw the set, and the layer was there, and the crew's so talented on those films, and the set design was like, and I remember walking through the lair and being disturbed. And then Toby and I started rehearsing, and our rehearsals were just a lot of walking and talking and sitting in cafes and just talking philosophy and life, and because we figured that's what John and Amanda did. They connected on that. And so that was the bulk of our rehearsal, and then we get in rooms with Darren and say the words, and like that whole ending came from rehearsing. And but once Amanda clicked in me, I went back into the lair, and I was comforted by the same things that disturbed me before she clicked in me on that deeper level. There's almost like a moment when it doesn't happen is when you're screwed, like I was describing earlier with that great actress I was watching last night who was not good in this part, this character part, Like I'm just looking, you click in, and that happened there. But when I went home, I had this young baby, hers younger brother Jackson and Verve, and Paulina was my nanny, who became my best friend. We had just met right before that film. She's from Poland. She's beautiful. And she's like pure sunshine, and she loved taking care of these children. We had this little house in this neighborhood around the lake in Toronto, and she discovered the Food Network. And so I would play Amanda all day and Saw 3, and then I would come home, and it was like Bonnie, what is it? Bonnie and Harriet. It was like this idyllic. She'd have food. I made this new recipe. It's filet mignon with the cherries and the sauce. And she was like, and I would come home and have this beautiful domestic life, and we'd take the baby for the walk in the stroller to the park, and it was amazing. It was incredible. So I just would switch gears and be restored with my beautiful sunshine, Paulina, and then go back and play Amanda. It was really an amazing time.
soft grade?
Oh, so the first, like, talk about finding the human. So, and the original, the opening, you know, was like Amanda Prentice comes in and the cloak and, you know, like, and I'm going, okay, first of all, like, well, look at me, I'm 5'3", you know, I'm just like, and then I knew Bahar, who they hired to play Jill. She was like taller than me, stronger, she was fierce, you know. And I'm going, okay, so I'm supposed to just like walk in the cloak and then intimidate her. And I'm like, she could, and she was fighting in that thing. And so I thought, if I try and play that, I'm gonna look like that actress. You know, it's gonna look silly, I'm gonna feel silly, and I can't carry this film like that. I mean, they have me to play this part, so we gotta work with me. So I put on John's hoodie, his hoodie, which, so I got the imagery of the cloak, you know, and the zip up, but I'm carrying a bag of groceries. So I just went grocery shopping, you know, to care for the most important person in the world to me. And it's our routine. I've been taking care of him for a long time. And we have our routine. And I come in and then I just have fun because I got her strapped to the thing and I said, just give me some weapons. So I have this big knife. That's intimidating. And once I took care of that, I could just have fun. So I took a ride on the wheelchair, you know, it was like a little grocery shopping, a little tormenting, super fun until she started crossing lines she shouldn't have crossed.
Well, yeah, maybe it's okay. We're just about out of time, so I want to just ask you, is there anything upcoming that we should be paying attention to?
I just finished an Apple TV show, and I don't even know when the release date is. It's called City on Fire. Sometimes they call it Brass Tactics too, so I'm not sure which, either of those two names. Just wrapped. I think it's going to be very good. It's a big cast, based on a novel that is tremendous. And it should be really good. So that's City on Fire, and I play Ramona, a Jewish mother.
Well, guys, I want to thank Shawnee very much for coming out and talking with us.
Thank you guys.
Round of applause. As we go to the photo-op, go to the table, answer the questions that you're free to ask here, and we'll find out and see you guys later. All right?
Thank you.